Good afternoon. How are you? I know you can't see me, but I don't think my camera can go back and forth. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a glimpse at our animals. Now, Holly might normally do this, or I might do it, but I don't think we've ever done a video of doing it. So what I'm doing is I'm driving over to where we keep 24 pigs of various variety, and because I didn't feed my favorite big white dog, I'm going back to feed him. So you'll get to see our large pigs, who get along, by the way, which is part of my underlying theme for my failed walk and talk, because I'm paying attention to the animals today. So you can see my Jack Russell running ahead of us like the wind, and there are two of them. I don't know if you can see them there. And so here is the first bunch of pigs. And they should be pretty comfortable because I only just fed them. And this can here is where I had some of the food for them. But you know, so you get some idea how big these guys are. And they're friendly, and they all have pigonalities. They all have a way about them that sort of defies understanding. So now I'm going to take you to see my great white dog. Who trusts me to do all this at the same time. This, by the way, is a golf cart that has seen better days. But it's very handy when you got to move stuff back and forth. Now, you see that dog there? Now the trick is getting into the space where the dog is, the big dog, big white, and keeping away the little dogs. Now this guy and I are friends. He barks all night, a low sounding bark that, back, that we can't hear. Well, we can hear, but you have to be out and looking for it. And what it does is it keeps away scavengers who might otherwise eat our dogs. See? Say hello. Say hello to your audience. This guy, given the chance, will wander off and be quite happy with that. Now we're walking over to his special feed dish. People who think these guys don't have personalities don't know anything. So this is his food. Pour it in here, and see? So he just pushes with his nose and he gets all of that food, right? Yeah. And here are the big guys rubbing themselves. You know, people make fun of pigs and swine and so forth, but these guys on our place all get along with each other. There are occasional breakouts, but usually they all get along. Look at the face on this guy. And here's one of my favorites, running away from me. And we got some glorious animals here. Oh, this guy's, they're all feathers. Come on, say hello. Show us your colors. The day I know is Easter. And like all the holidays, it becomes two things, and two things basically only. It becomes a challenge to have a feast, and the principles of the original spring equinox, which was about a time of rebirth is lost on the public. And so you don't get that. What you get instead is people beating their chests, reflecting on how religious and faithful they are. And I suppose it's like a lot of other religions and ethics. Are you faithful to your scripture when you act in the real world, in real life? Now, I, for one, am, well, very interested in the aspects of a human named Jesus who did what he did, sans miracles and so forth. And it's a passion play, in a way, of a man that modern Christians rarely make any effort to duplicate. In fact, some religions say that Jesus didn't want us to do good acts, although that's what he said in the Sermon on the Mount. And like other fallen Catholics, I suppose the hypocrisy and the non-scientific claims, for whatever reason, to make religion into a magic act never caught me. But I do respect the right of others to find faith in a way that guides and makes their life something special. I resent them telling me how to live my life, because I don't tell them how to live theirs. But I've had my experience in my chapters, and I have, as a result of starting out as a Jesuit product, having met men and women who were quite spiritual and did care and did help others. And then there are these other priests that it's like it is for many men, it's a power trip, something they do for their power. And I don't understand that in a religion. The Jesuits that taught me at high school were very special people, and I wrote to some of my prepsters, my Jesuit common students, when we were there, and I think we got to know each other better because you're at an age when you're transparent to whom you are and who you may become, and there's little posture, and there need not be any. And we were in classes together, and I thought there was a lot of gifted young men. No women in those days. I don't know that the high school now has women. And so here it is, Easter. And what should we be thinking? I mean, if we were to think a moment about politics, we would say, how does a person running for president who has so little identity with the values of Christianity, whatever you think of the entire theology, go around selling Bibles except to pander and use the faith of others that he does not have? And what kind of a Christian could be so thick and dense as not to see that? And to even support him? It's like a Rorschach test. When you look at Trump, do you see yourself as that kind of a Christian? Or do you see yourself as a real Christian, and he's the faux, exploiting, crass human being desperately fighting for his life and freedom? He's a man who is a husk. The nuns used to say, if we talked a lot, and of course I did, that an empty vessel makes the most noise. And so I probably contributed. But I had a lot of competition as a kid, and I mean that in a good way, because we were all outspoken, I think. I mean, I'm sure there were exceptions, but Trump, on the other hand, didn't participate. There it is. GPF and Holly 2. So what do I have to say about today? Well, I'm not going to walk among the trees because I have other chores to attend to. Holly is at the hospital and they're conducting tests. I have my fingers crossed, but whenever you go to the hospital and you have studious, insightful, experienced doctors as are looking at her, they sometimes can find things. And hopefully they're going to find that Holly is there because to test and to confirm that she's okay. But we don't know that, and you don't know the answer to the question, so you wait upon it, and that's what we're doing. I've found that country and animals were a key to connecting with the whole rest of the world. And it's nice to see things so green here now. Might get a kick out of our goat. Look at these, look at the face on these guys. We had a kid come here and at first, I don't know, she must have been 7 to 10. And we were walking around after she saw the pigs and she was very timid at first. And then all of a sudden, she trusted the animals and she ran with them and a whole bunch ran behind her. And there wasn't an ounce of fear. She was just so excited to be with these animals, to be with nature. And most of us have known people who, if we give them a chance, we find a commonality, common objective, a thing we'd enjoy doing together, a project we want to work in, a person we can give a leg up who needs it, and those who give it to us when we need it. So here I am amidst a field. At one point I had a 70-acre farm and people thought I must be a gazillionaire, but the land in Virginia in 1985 when I got that parcel was not expensive, and you know, and I owned it with the bank like a lot of places. And this place we have here, which is 10.2 acres, is such a pleasure. And it's inexpensive by today's standards, but it costs the same for these 10 acres as for those 70 acres. So it gives you some idea. The presence of nature that allows you to withdraw from the insanity that, say, for example, right now is Trump and a feast of cowards who do nothing to protect us. And they're out there wishing people happy Easter when they don't know what it's about in a classical sense, or what it can be in terms of the heritage of the pagan ritual celebrating the coming of spring. So that's what I got for today. Hope you enjoyed this different kind of walk. And tomorrow, unless I have to go up to Baltimore, or I'll be around, and we'll talk in the place of the fields, or we'll talk in the roads and trails and the cathedral of trees. All the best. Bye-bye.